Hola amigos de Versus, estamos con Peter Moore aquí en el EGS Survivall y vamos a platicar un poco con él sobre su experiencia y todo lo que tiene que ver con el mundo de los videojuegos. Peter, you are an eminence in the industry. You've been in such great companies. What's the most important thing you have learned in these years?
How lucky I have been to have joined an industry sheerly out of luck and good fortune at a time when I was 45 years of age already and working in athletic shoes for Reebok, which I'd done in that industry for 20 years. I'm an immigrant to the United States, so I'm fortunate that somebody believed in me. Like all immigrants, you need help. And I've arrived in games at the right time when SEGA needed somebody to do their marketing, and online gaming, this interesting kind of niche thing at that time was coming along, and I thought that sounds really interesting. So and what I've learned is technology start and there's challenges and there are naysayers, people who say it's not going to work, but companies, people, individuals believe in it, and here we are sat here today in Mexico City. Global video gaming this year could be $200 billion in top line revenue.
And speaking of Reebok, there are two huge differences between industries. I mean, shoes and video games.
Weren't you afraid
About that change?
Well, you're always a little. You have at first what they call imposter syndrome. That means in your head you're going, "Do I belong here?"
Yeah.
You know, and so when I left Reebok, I'd been in athletic shoes for 20 years. And I knew very little about video games, but when it was explained to me what SEGA was doing, what their Dreamcast was all about, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go. It sounds interesting. I'd learn quickly. I mean, if there's one thing I do have is that ability to be a bit of a sponge. Yeah. And so within a few months of arriving, the president of SEGA goes on to do other things, and Japan calls me and says, "You're the president now, and you've got to launch this Dreamcast on 9/9/99." And so I had a wonderful team with me. Still, I stay in touch with so many of them, and we somehow pulled it off. It didn't work out in the end to the way we wanted it to, but it was a great launch, great content, and we paved the trail for online gaming, albeit through a dial-up modem, not through broadband until later on. But I think a lot of people would agree that you can thank SEGA in those early days for where we are today.
Yeah. And after SEGA, Xbox?
Yeah, I moved up to rainy Seattle for 5 years, and I loved it. We, in the later years at SEGA, obviously had gone third party and started to figure out different ways to bring our content to gamers, seeing as we didn't have a console anymore. Xbox and the team there was always really good with helping us get through this very difficult phase. And in the spring of 2003, I got a call from Xbox and Microsoft from Steve Ballmer and said, we'd love to see you and come up here and have lunch and let's chat. And so the next thing, very quickly, they offered me a job as a corporate vice president at Xbox, and said we've got 2.5 years probably to launch Xbox 360. Off we went.
Such a great console.
Yeah, no, we got it right. We got our price point right. We got our configuration right. We got our memory right. We got the games right, and most importantly, we got Xbox Live right. Yeah. At a time when the PlayStation Network was free, we decided we were going to invest in a superior experience, a better product that was Xbox Live, and so you're going to pay $5 a month, and you're going to think it's the greatest value, and gamers did, and so and that was
changed the industry.
Yeah, it was. We believed in it. We believed in this very. Actually, it was difficult because PlayStation and I'm a marketer that likes to throw punches. We're a challenger brand, and my job was to represent Xbox on stage and interviews, and really push our agenda. Why you should buy a 360 and not wait for whatever the next thing was, PlayStation 3.
Why you should pay $5?
Well, the thing was, I mean, and I made the point. You try Xbox Live, and you'll be happy to pay $5 per month, whatever that was. I think, it wasn't even a cup of coffee, a month at that point, and millions of people agreed, and we built, and what that did is that then, because we had the advantage of Microsoft, we were a software company, not necessarily a gaming company, but we were building that way. But as games started to rely more on technology, back-end infrastructure, networks, server farms, database management, global billing system, it was right in the sweet spot of what we were at Microsoft. So we were able to deploy the strength of Microsoft at a time when the industry, entertainment and technology were merging. Because it's not easy having millions of people play concurrently, in your games. And Sony wasn't ready for that. Sony, if they were honest today, and the people around there would say, we were not really a software company at that time. Yes, we were a game software company, but not like a Microsoft was in the broader world of what software and the internet meant. And then the Xbox 360 got a head start, and PlayStation 3 came out, I don't know, $5.99, and we're going. We would come down here. We believe long term in the Latin American market, particularly the Mexican market. We opened offices down here, and really, it's about really just putting a stake in the ground and saying, all right, Mexico, it's tough. We still don't have enough broadband. Broadband's not accessible to everybody yet, but it will be. It's not cheap yet, but it will be. And you believe in the future, and you go, because console cycles are 5, 6, 7 years, and you go, all right, we're coming down here. We see this as kind of a clean sheet of paper down here, and we're going to invest in Mexico, and we did. And invest means put infrastructure down here, put people down here, great people that local people that understand the market, and invest. And invest means ready to lose money for a good chunk of time.
If there is someone here around the world that is thinking, I am not good enough in something, what advice would you give them?
Well, I think you always, and that is called imposter syndrome. And usually when you get a job and then you worry that you've there's also a thing unfortunately called the Peter principle, which is you get promoted into kind of incompetence. And I wish it wasn't called the Peter principle, but it is. And so you've got to believe in yourself, and you also need luck. I mean, I've been lucky. And the old saying, I'd rather be lucky than good. I've been good as well, but I've been very lucky in people believed in me. People that took a chance when I wasn't necessarily the obvious candidate. Okay. I didn't have experience in games, for example. And you need those people around you to give you that kind of leg up, to the next level. But if you don't believe in yourself, then why should anybody else, right?
Yeah.
So have that self-confidence, beat your own chest, tell your story, use all the tools. In today's world, the tools to promote your LinkedIn, your social media channels, all of these tools. I never had these, and maybe for the better, because people just had to take a risk on me, and so it was tough to do background checks and all of that things, you take for granted now. But I think you've got to believe in yourself. And once you believe in yourself, and that exudes self-confidence. I meet people, and I can tell if they believe in themselves, when I cross the line of arrogance and a little bit of cockiness, but you've got to have that self-belief.
That's great. It's a pleasure being here with you, speaking with you, learning from you, and I think that the best advice is that believe in yourself.
Totally, yeah. And like I say,
you can be whatever you want if you want.
Yeah, you've got to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, I can usually smell that in people, right? That they don't believe in themselves. And if they don't believe that, then why should I, right? So, but I also smell people who, I got this, I'm driven, I'm ambitious, I'm going to learn. Do I have all the answers yet? No, but I'm going to learn. and those are the people you want on your team. I played football all my life, and it's a team sport, and I was typically captain of my team, and I loved having those people around. Maybe not as skillful as you would like, but just would work harder, you know, to deliver over expectations of what people think of them.
That's great. Thank you so much for this.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Happy to see you here.
Yeah.
It's
We're
great.
gonna have fun.